All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's showtime like Kareem Lakers. I make a masterpiece seem basic. No Meek Millie, but I'm dream chasing. Took the shortcut like Anita Baker. I want the bright lights that you see in Vegas. I need a big house with like 3 basements. Drop an M on the whip, think I'm speed racing. Don't know if it's the Transformer or the Green Ranger. My nigga Mac got the beat banging. Young nigga selling crack as a teenager. Had fiends playing baseball out here free basing. Had me showing off the rings like a Freemason. My mama gone, but I keep pacing. Trying to keep it all together like I need braces. Family calling when they need favors. When I was broke, they was acting like complete strangers. All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Rest in peace, the Nippy was the street savior. Got my credit right now, I need acres. Gotta turn your dirty money into clean paper. Trying to own a franchise without a key player. I go through hoes like I weave laces. Tree blazers, let they mama noodles be flavored. Meat takers that be acting like the D sacred. You bust in, you would think they on their knees praying. Then I slide like a screensaver. When I'm done, make some scrambled eggs, cheese bacon. Then it's on to the next, I ain't a speed dater. Little bitch ain't gon' hear from me till weeks later. I don't see no things changing. Kids still dodging bullets like they seen Matrix. These young niggas really need saving, but OGs won't teach them that the street's dangerous. All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, man? What's the vibes, my people? Good morning. Good morning on this Monday morning, man. We starting off the week hot today, man. We active. You know what I mean? You already know the vibes, man. Y'all come in the building, hit that like button, hit that hype button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, man. You already know we working today. We working today. And I got my brother with me, man. My brother B3 Sports Talk, man. My brother B3 Picks TV from the STN family, man. My guys, man, over there, man, for sure. Yeah, man, my brother been doing some amazing work over there on his channel, man. And, you know, we've been rocking out for a little minute. So we like, hey, we wanted to put something together where we, you know, do back-to-back shows. One on my channel, one on his channel, man, today. So, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot in store, man. So what's good with my brother, B3? What's good with you, brother?
CamJ, my brother, my audio coming through.
Yep, it's good. It's good.
Man, hey, listen, we working, man. You already know Mr. Me working in here. Appreciate all the love and support. Shout out to everybody already building in the chat. I see y'all, Bobby, Lee Jackson. What's going on? All things in here. Hey, we about to have a great cook today. You already know how we get down. And let me ask you, Cam, is that you rapping on the intro?
Nah, that's my cousin, Marco. That's my cousin, Marco
Okay.
Bozzi. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
yeah, that was fire.
I'm here for Cincinnati. For sure, man.
Yeah, that was hard.
Definitely, man. That's, you know, I gotta start off with a little energy coming in on these shows and everything. You feel me? So you already know. Yeah, man. So we got some energy going into this Monday, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. A lot of things going on in boxing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things. And just starting off, we can go ahead with the news that dropped this morning for real. So let me go ahead and pull this up, starting off with the big news that hit this
Hold
morning.
on, Cam. Hold on, Cam. My bad. Let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Everybody in here, please support. Cam put in a lot of work behind the scenes and on live, myself as well. Help out when you can. We building. I see you in here, Prize. I just wanted to say that. Listen, bless the Cash App. Support the channel. Help the channel grow. We building. Go ahead, Cam. Let's cook. Let's cook on
Absolutely.
Bob.
Absolutely, man. Yes, man. The Cash App is open. You already know it's at the bottom of the screen. You already see it on underneath my name. Super chat, super thanks. Of course, man. Hit that like button and hype the show up as well, man. You hype the show up, it helps us in the algorithm, man. So we definitely need everyone's support for us hitting the like button or hitting the hype button. Both of those are free for sure. You feel me? So let's go ahead and get started, man. It was good. Now, matter of fact, let me go and salute to my boy All Things, man. My brother All Things. You heard my brother. He said smash that like button. Let me go ahead and I gotta do my roll call to my guys real quick. All Things. You already know my brother, man. Salute to All Things. And the boy Bobby in the building, man. What's good with Bobby, man? What's popping? Salute to Bobby, man. And my brother Lee Jack, man. Lee Jack. That's one of my day one guys, man. One of my day one supporters always, man. Him and All Things for sure. You know what I mean? Lee Jackson, man. Salute to my brother, man, for sure. And Prize, man. My brother Prize in the building, man. What's good with my brother Prize, man? What's good, man? What's good? So, all right, so we can go ahead and get it cracking, man. All right, so the first one, just hot off the presses this morning, right here with Top Rank signing a multi-year deal, broadcast deal with the Zone. So you got Top Rank with the Zone, and adding a little bit more context to the Top Rank and the Zone agreement. It said they have reached a deal of about 8 to 10 boxing events per year, according to Keith Addick from Ring Magazine. The agreement comes after the end of long-time TV partnership between Bob Arum's promotion and ESPN in 2025. Each event is expected to carry a license fee between $1 million to $1.25 million, which is very, very intriguing to me because I know somebody that just literally had like their whole entire main card for about 1.2.5 million the other night, Saturday night. So what you think about this right here with Top Rank, the Zone, 8 to 10 events per year, and they got the money up there. It's talking about up to about the million, 1.25 million right here for Top Rank.
Yeah, I heard everything, Cam. I just had to
Okay.
switch over phones.
Are you good? You
I
good?
think this is listen, I think this is great for boxing. And I guess Dana White, that clip didn't last long because Bob Arum got him a new agreement. So shout out to Bob, shout out to Top Rank. And the
Man,
Zone putting they trying to put boxing under one banner. I respect what they're doing, trying to turn their network into the home of boxing, which is good. So I mean, of course, we like competition because competition will lower pricing. But right now, we still got Paramount Plus. We also got Amazon Prime, so there is competition, in the marketplace. So we in a great space for the sport. And now with and I ain't gonna lie to you, I love Top Rank Boxing, Top Rank events. We already know they know how to move young fighters, build their career, and put them in a position to where we want to see them on a regular basis. So
absolutely.
they always find top tier talent, like a young Abdullah Mason, Xander Zayas, and I mean, the list goes on and on with what Top Rank has done over the years. So yeah, Dana White, Bob Aaron been in the sport for 50 years, and he gonna be in the sport, until God call him home, right? So that's
Right.
just what it is, man. Shout out to him.
Facts. And salute to Bobby with the 199 in the super thanks right there, man. Salute to Bobby right there for sure. And yeah, my boy Tay said, salute to my brother Tay. He said only 8 to 10 events. Yeah, I mean, all right, so I mean, of course, I think a lot of people I think they look at the number of the events, like where they're expecting like 12, or more.
At
But
least on a month. Yeah.
sometimes you gotta understand too with some of these promotional companies, like if they set like some of the events, some of y'all boxing fans that they put on, some of the events, if they put on 50 events a year, some events I probably wouldn't even care for if it's some, because a lot of those events is going to be some mid-level guys, low-level guys, and stuff like that. And some of the casuals, fans don't care, for those fights. They want to, see the big fights. So I mean, I think with 8 to 10 events, I think I think they just trying to fill them in and just trying to reel them in a little bit, get them right within the zone. A little bit, and then maybe I can see that probably increasing the following year after that. Just seeing how to get a feel for them. So I think that's more so just Top Rank coming in the zone, just getting the feel, and then building from there. But one thing I have to say, I ain't gonna lie, this surprised me because I mean I kind of knew this was up in the loop though as far as the zone the whole entire time, but I knew something was different with Top Rank because, of course, they was renegotiating the deal with ESPN, the last month. And then, boom, MVP, they signed on with ESPN, a week ago. And then I was like, ooh, once I seen that, I'm like, I don't think Top Rank going to be on ESPN with MVP at the same time. I don't see that happening. So I'm interested to see where they going to go then. And this move with with the zone definitely a little surprised, but not so surprising because they just looking at the market. They want to be somewhere where they can have some dates and keep their fighters active. And one thing I want to say about Top Rank too, like I said this the other night on my show, we got to give Top Rank a salute for what they've been doing without having a network, keeping their fighters active. Having and building champions in the process. Like they had Abdullah Mason and Xander, Zayas, and of course, Emmanuel Navarrete, he's become unified. Xander's unified. Abdullah's the youngest, one of the youngest world champions in in boxing. Like they didn't build, and then Ashaki Foster and Shushu Carrington, he just became champion. Like, just think about a lot of the guys that they have on their roster that they're building. Some of those guys are champions, and they became champions or unified in the process of them not having a network the past year. And I think we got to salute them for that because they're doing a hell of a job. And for them to now they're with the zone. I think it's definitely, a great move for them. I like the move.
Definitely. I think it's a good move. 8 to 10, I can understand where the trepidation come from because it's like y'all got a lot of talent.
Right.
So, but when people got to look at it is that a lot of that talent is also going to be outsourced because Ring is still doing events, So
Absolutely.
they got great. So, Ring's going to want Abdullah Mason. They're going to want Shushu Carrington. They're going to want certain fight. They're going to want in a way. So that's something that Top Rank has to deal with. But I think, fights like Tiger Johnson and Nicholas Floss, right? You need a pro box TV. You know what I mean? Because that wouldn't be a traditional main event on Top Rank. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's a little give and take. But I think 8 to 10 events from Top Rank specifically, if they could do that within this calendar year, that'd be fire, right? Because we already in March. Now, we probably won't get 8 events. Maybe we'll see. We can count them. We'll see what happens when they roll out.
Yeah. That I look at it as far as that aspect, as far as this year. That's what my mindset was with. That's why I'm glad that you mentioned it, because I think 8 to 10 for this year, and then they build in next year. They probably have more dates, the following year. You know what I mean? They, we know Top Rank, like you mentioned, they got the staple and the roster of guys to to have more dates than that, of course. But 8 to 10 for them, I think is solid, for them, man. It's definitely going to be intriguing to see how they move with this, of course. And now, like, guys like Josh Kelly that was negotiating with Xander Zayas, you can't talk about. They don't have a network because they have a network. And he's on the same network that you're signed on to, as far as Matchroom. Matchroom was part of the same network as well.
Hey, listen, so it shouldn't be a whole bunch of side of the street talk. We should be getting a lot of these fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the zone is going to be because essentially the zone is going to be backing Eddie Hearn, which is Matchroom and Top Rank now. Of course, they got Queensbury. They also have Golden Boy. So the shout out to the zone, man, for putting in a lot of good work. And they also working with Ring and Turkey. So it's going to be boxing is setting up for a good end of the year.
Yeah, Tay, he said, I'm guessing Abdullah versus Joe Cordina going to be their first fight on the zone. I absolutely, I would definitely imagine that for sure. Now, because my thing was, I was thinking for as Abdullah, of course, with him being a ring ambassador, I was believing that, he was going to end up being on one of the next Ring magazine cards that Turkey throw or whatsoever. But with Tyrank now, them having a deal, now it's interesting. Now it's interesting to see if Tyrank makes a move with Abdullah and be like, yo, we're going to have you, we're going to try to negotiate and see if Joe Cordina will come to Cleveland, which would be very interesting. I'm interested to know if Joe Cordina is willing to come to Cleveland to fight Abdullah Mason. That's what I'm interested in. And I think, I think that's the move that I think Top Rank should do. They should give Abdullah that fight, that hometown fight, to where he shine at home and move from there. Like,
now the WBO, I know Joe Cordina is number one, but of course with Abdullah winning that vacant title, how do they look at that? Does he have to fight Joe Cordina next? Has he been called as the mandatory? I don't think so,
yeah,
right?
everybody's been expecting the WBO to order the fight, but they haven't ordered it yet. So I know Abdullah, of course, in his recent interviews, he's been speaking about Joe Cordina, being mandated possibly and everything. So all the roads lead to that fight happening, coming up next for sure. It's just all about where it's going to be and when. Abdullah's been in the gym. I'm pretty sure Joe Cordina's been in the gym and stuff, staying ready and whatsoever. So it's all about, where and when now. So now with Top Rank having this deal, now we'll probably have a clearer picture on, what's next for Abdullah in particular, for sure. And I wonder if Top Rank is still going to do like some of the stuff like with the smart TV app, like with the I would assume they're gonna keep the content rolling with
Top Rank Classics.
Yeah,
Top Rank. I don't see why not. I mean, I guess they had that for their shows. They started that channel really for their reruns, and then show the content. And then what they'll be able to do is, since they didn't have the DAZN deal, they were able to put Michaela Mayer, and I believe maybe another event on there, another 2 events. But they still got that in their back pocket. Top Rank Classes ain't going nowhere. But now,
right.
based on a lot of people are locked into that ultimate package with DAZN at $45 a month. So hopefully that doesn't increase. And hey, listen, this is boxing, this is Top Rank. Hey, it's nothing but to be positive on a day like this,
Facts.
This is good for the sport.
Absolutely. Salute to my boy Opulent, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to my brother Opulent, man. My brother been definitely doing some great work on this channel, man, for sure. And salute to my boy Big Bob Gunn in the building, man. What's good, bro? What's popping, bro? And my boy Tay, he said, if Abdullah fighting in Ohio, maybe Albert Bill versus Andy Cruz on that card.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. With Joe Cordina being on Matchroom, Andy Cruz being on Matchroom, that'd be an easy fight for them to make right there. But Albert Bill, the thing is, Albert Bill isn't on Top Rank, but Albert Bill would definitely fight. Because I mean, obviously they would make Andy Cruz like the A side in the fight, obviously. So it'll definitely be somewhere where Andy Cruz will possibly want to fight if they start to get in negotiations. I'm definitely interested as far as the negotiations in this Albert Bill and Andy Cruz fight now, because definitely that's something that could be in play for sure. Like if they got Abdullah, headlining something in Cleveland, then yeah, it would make perfect sense for Albert Bill and Andy Cruz to fight on that card. Like perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm for Albert Bell. I think Albert Bell needs a title shot. I mean, Andy
Yeah,
Cruz is a
that's
good.
a title eliminator. So whoever win that to be going up for that Muratalla title then.
I'm definitely. I got you. I
Yeah.
got
So
you.
that's the title eliminator. So that'd be a good one. Far as that, far as I mean,
Seeing
then it's a chance too.
who really
Muratalla may
deserved
move
that.
up too.
That's
That's another
yeah.
thing too. Muratalla may move up to 140, where that may be a vacant title fight, possibly.
Yeah, that's only if he doesn't accept the Shakur fight. I think Shakur's been talking about wanting to fight him for the 135 Ring Magazine. So
Fact.
yeah, so they're gonna stay around for that. So we just gotta see. Now they should put the interim on the line. Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, put the interim on the line. Put something on the line. That way it makes sense because Albert Bell been waiting a long time for an opportunity.
Juan was good. My boy was good. Brother was good. And salute to my brother OTB, man, was good. Make sure y'all subscribe to Juan and OTB, man, for sure. Both of them guys putting in work, man. Definitely. My brother
Salute,
OTB
salute.
said top rank, the zone, reach agreement. Yes, man, most definitely, man. Top rank is definitely with the zone, and they're going to be having 8 to 10 fights right now, currently, on what they're saying. So about 8 to 10 fights per year, and you never know. Like the events may increase. You know what I'm saying? Once they fill them out and see what's popping. So like I definitely like the move. I definitely like the move for top rank because doubt it's a lot of matchups like we just mentioned a couple of matchups that's from the zone that they can make right there. Like it'll be super easy for them guys to make for sure. And all right, so we can go into the next one, man, that we got. Because I know that's one of them topics everybody gonna be talking about today, but obviously because that's the biggest news today. And we just get into some little small topics, some little brief shit. So I don't know if you know about it. So IBF, the other day they they placed the purse bid for Patty Donovan and Karen Chukadazian. So they got a purse bid coming up March 21st for IBF welterweight title eliminator between Patty Donovan and Karen Chukadazian. Patty Donovan, of course, he been there, two big fights with Lewis Crocker. And of course, Karen Chukadazian, of course, he, infamous for him fighting with, Boo Sanders in those, two fights that he had with him. So what you think about this briefly right here? Because it's just a small topic just to go in there. But
Nah,
what
you
you think
good,
about
Cam?
Donovan and Chukadazian right here?
Man, I like what the IBF is doing because they making sure guys fight. Now, Eddie Hearn, he was boss. He wanted that title, and I mean, of course, match him. Everybody was thinking that Patty Donovan was going to become champion. Um, he has a lot of Irish ties that are favorable for him. Right now, he couldn't get the job done because he ended up getting dropped versus Lewis Crocker twice. So, uh, I think Karen will be a good fight. I definitely want to see Karen in that fight, and hopefully they make it happen because what we know is, I mean, Eddie Hearn. I mean, they really about making good business. So I mean, if it was an interim on the line or something like that for Patty, maybe, but it's gonna be tough for them to do that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully they can make it happen. But Karen is a tough fight. And Patty is,
Absolutely.
and then so Karen can definitely knock Patty off. I mean, I would favor Karen in that matchup.
Absolutely.
He hasn't even. I mean, I would favor Karen versus Lewis Crocker. So I mean, that's not saying much. Shout out to Champ Raw. Shout out to Miss Joette.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
y'all
Yeah,
for that, man.
definitely. I like this going for Karen, man. He's getting this opportunity to try to make his mark at a title at 147. So I definitely like the situation. Of course, we got Crocker and Leon Pyro. Of course, that fight it got postponed recently, due to Crocker, tearing a suffering injury for us, ligament damage in his hand and everything. So that fight has got postponed. So, they got like a little tournament between them four pretty much, where, the winner of, Crocker and Pyro fights the winner of Donovan and, Trukadazian. So definitely the purse bid is March 24th for that fight. And, we'll definitely see what happens with that. Then we can go ahead and go to this next one, which is, some that was real intriguing. Of course, Emmanuel Navarrete coming off of beating, Sugar Nunez a couple weeks ago. And now the WBO, they didn't order him to fight Charlie Suarez in a rematch, defending those straps. What you think about this right here?
Man, I like it. The WBO is doing the right thing, but I believe Suarez was promised this fight because I think they definitely left him at top in the division. I can check, but based on how they kind of robbed him in that last situation, that first fight with Navarrete, that was wild work. That was
Yeah,
that was that was disgusting, and that's the type of stuff we got to remove from the sport because these dudes have to get credit for what they do on the night of the fight, how they perform against the opposition, and if a champion has a lackluster performance, then he deserved to lose his title. But it's a lot of so when ASAP politics rear its head, it's a black eye on the sport, and I'm pretty sure Suarez team, petitioned hard for that for to make sure they were still going to. Well, one, they overturned the decision of the fight. So
right.
so now we know y'all did something that y'all weren't supposed to do because y'all had to overturn it after the fact. That means that the bookies had to even pay out Navarrete. And matter of fact, I can go back and look if I'm not mistaken. I believe I lost some bread on this because I may have live bet. I had to go back and check. I know pre-fight I had Navarrete, but I like the live bet fights, right? So depending on how somebody doing, if an underdog is get putting hands on a favorite, I'm a cover the underdog live.
Right.
So when they rob the underdog, I be mad. I lost to the Terrell Goucher versus Elijah Garcia is another good example of that betting the underdog. I thought Terrell should have won that fight, and then they give it to Elijah. And we all seen he put hands on Elijah. But that happens in the sport of boxing. But this is good for Suarez to get his rematch, to get his get back, and hopefully he can go ahead and become unified champion. I'm sure, but Navarrete just looks so he looks sharp against Nunez. I don't know if
Absolutely.
Nunez had a bad weight cut. I don't know what it was, Cam, but Nunez got the beats put on him. That was wild. I mean, I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting that. I thought Nunez was gonna put a way better performance on than that.
I agree with you 100%, man. Yeah, definitely. I was surprised at how Navarrete beat him down too, because I was like, damn, Nunez didn't even come. Like he didn't have no chance. He had no answers for Navarrete, and that was just a crazy fight from Navarrete. Great performance from him, man. I'm just like, now I don't know in this rematch. I don't know how Suarez is gonna look in this rematch. I don't know, but
I'm gonna check right now to see
definitely
if he has
I
a
will
fight.
say he Suarez definitely deserves this rematch for sure. How the first fight went down with everything for sure. So I think this was definitely due. Even though I would have wanted Navarrete to unify with Ashaki personally, but hey, the WBO they putting their foot down on this situation. So I ain't even mad at it. And, you know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely due. He definitely deserves this rematch for sure.
Yeah,
And
one
we can
thousand
go ahead and
percent. And
we can go ahead. Yeah.
Oshaki gonna be a super tough fight for Navarrete. The
Yes,
one thing I
definitely.
don't like about it is that Suarez has not fought since May 10th, 2025, when they had to reverse the decision in the Navarrete fight. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they go right into that fight. But hopefully it's next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Most definitely, man. So we can go to this next topic, which is definitely big news, from the other day with Bam Bam Rodriguez will face Antonio Vargas for the WBO Super Bantamweight World Title in the upcoming date. So you got Bam Bam moving up to 118 to fight Antonio Vargas for his WBA title up there. So what you think about this with Bam Bam right here?
Bam Bam just doing pound for pound things. I mean, Antonio Vargas is not an easy fight at all.
Absolutely.
So, and also, I mean, he might be equivalent size wise, as well. So they probably be like the same size. Antonio may be even, I mean, Bam is moving up in weight, so Antonio may be a little bigger than him as well on fight night. So we just got to see. But I was impressed with Vargas. His last fight, he got dropped in a title fight, and he actually he actually covered us because I mean I bet on Vargas. Of course, it was some underdog money in that title fight, and he definitely covered. I was thankful because when he got dropped early in that fight, I was worried. But shout out to Bam though, man. Bam, hopefully they do get this fight over the line. It says they will fight. Okay, so this is already confirmed. Okay, so they just haven't put the date out there. Now, I think this is gonna be big for Bam if they can do it in like San Antonio or that'd be his hometown. I think he is looking at a hometown fight. So I think Bam is in a prime position to beat Vargas though. I mean, just his work rate, and his hand
Absolutely.
speed and the way he can get. It's just that he has to stay disciplined because he has had some close fights. If that weight cut is not pristine, if he don't show up right on the night, Vargas could have a good performance on him.
Oh,
Like,
most definitely.
so hey, boxing is doing what boxing do, man.
Definitely, man. I love it, man. And then, I heard the plan was for Bam Bam to have this fight with Vargas at 118 and then go back down and try to become undisputed at 115. So his goal is still to become undisputed at 115. Is just, he getting his feet wet up here at 118 right here. And the possibility too, you got to think about him as well, building into the futuristic fight that people want from Bam, him fighting Nava anyway, like him moving up and weight a little bit too. So that's another little curious thought about that as well too, between Bam Bam Rodriguez right there. But yeah, I love Bam definitely doing this thing, definitely just doing big dog shit, man. He is stepper. He is stepper, man. Like I love what Bam is doing, man. And I love how Eddie is moving him. Eddie is definitely moving him, definitely right in them lower weight classes right now. So definitely, man. Salute to Bam Bam Rodriguez. And we'll definitely stay tuned on whenever they come up with the date for this fight. They're definitely negotiating this fight currently and stuff, and this fight is locked where they're gonna lock this fight in for sure. And we can go to the next one right here, which was something just a little small with Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez. They they were negotiating in recent time, and of course Jack Catterall is number one contender at the 147-pound division for the WBO. him and Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez, they was negotiating, and then said that the fight fell through due to Jose Ramirez team demanding more money than Matchroom was willing to pay, and you know who Jose Ramirez manager is, right? Mr. Rick Mirajan, Virgil Ortiz
Mhm.
manager. and
Yeah.
and
Wow. Word.
so Jack Catterall, he came out and tweeted out about it. He said frustrating because I was prepared to go to his hometown in Fresno, but it is what it is. And then the guy that I just mentioned, Rick Mirajan, he came out and of course came out with a tweet talking about fake news, not dead, and we did not even get to the purse negotiations. Both sides agreed to fight. I found a venue with $1 million income from gate to work with, as well 15,000 people that would attend. Went above and beyond to get that far. Find a better scenario that someone could put together to help get a deal done better than that. Also have been given no fight offer should they want fight elsewhere in world, which we said we are open to. Once again, fake news, and that's all people do in this sport is lie, make up stuff and push it out to people they know won't vet it, research it, confirm it, or read a single thing. So this is Rick Mears and Virgil Ortiz, his manager, which is Jose Ramirez, were manager, for as just negotiations of this fight with Jack Catterall right here, which is he's talking about all of the stuff behind the scenes and stuff, on this fight and everything. But the thing is about him, like that's what I said, the person that talks a lot, I say in a lot of these situations, be the person that be capping. And you ain't see Jack Catterall talk about it and go crazy and stuff on a tweet and everything like that, man. And so, I mean, it's just nasty work from Jose Ramirez. I mean, because like you don't really got no motion for real. Like you lost to Devin. You ain't fought since then. You fighting Jack Catterall, which is that's a fight for Jack Catterall, like in a tune-up. That's a tune-up for him, how he looking at it for real, because he really waiting for, a title shot possibly. So, what you think about this situation right here with Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez?
Yeah, I was doing a bit of research. I don't even see Jose Ramirez ranked at 147 right now for the WBO. Uh so I mean Jack Catterall is number one. So I mean this fight, nobody asked for this fight.
Facts.
Jose now, if Rick Mirrigan has $1 million event that he can put together with 15,000 people, which I know Jose can do, right? Um give send an offer to Tiger Johnson. I'm sure Tiger Johnson would love that opportunity. That's two Americans fighting two former Olympians. Fight Tiger Johnson. That's the fight I would want to see. But Catterall is the A side over Jose Ramirez. Now I know
Absolutely.
Jose is a former unified or whatever, but for one, Catterall has been he looked well in his last fight. He stopped Essuman, who had beat Josh Taylor, who had beat Jose Ramirez, right? But not only that, so Catterall. I mean, both of them lost to Barboza, so that levels itself out. But outside of that, I mean, he's number one in the WBO, so he doesn't have to give. He could just wait. And like you said, he's being called as the mandatory later this year. So if I was Catterall, I would just, you know, get a stay busy fight. I'm looking at the rankings now.
I'll look
Let me see.
elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, just stay active, get you a fight in. Let me look right here who in line with the WBO. All right, so Catterall, He can fight Karen. Karen is number 4 in the WBO. Now, a tough fight is Brian Norman Jr. Now, they may want to make that Catterall Brian Norman Jr. That'd be a big fight. Um,
Yeah.
Catterall
Yeah,
is
Brian
the
Norwood
line.
Jr. coming back in May, so that'll be something. If Brian, because Brian has aspirations to get back in the mix for us, title contention and stuff. So
Yep. Yep. And they can make, and I think these, and like I'm saying, WBO, there's no interim champion for Devin at 147. So go ahead and put somebody in that position. Because Catterall fought for the interim with Barboza, you know. So there's history there. So since he's number one, he redeemed, you know, go ahead and put that on the line for I'm looking at the rankings. Stanionis is 14 for the WBO. Ricardo Salas just fought and stopped Jesus Saracho. He's number 9. That's gonna be a tough fight for everybody. He stopped Roman Villa, Ken Cruz, Jesus Saracho. So he's been looking good lately. Uh and Tio right sitting right there, number 3. Okay, so Tio is number 3 right now in the WBO. So this is interesting. It's a lot of good it's a lot of good options right there. Tio, they might end up making that Tio Catterall. That'd be a good fight.
facts, man. So yeah, we'll see what happens. What's next for Jack Catterall? Look like him and Jose Ramirez look like that fight ain't falling through, and we can go ahead and get into this one right here next, which was reported with Tim Tszyu back in action April 4th, man, on Prom in Australia. And this is a free event, by the way, just to let everybody know, because I know people been asking me, so I'm gonna let you know it's free. so this event is a free right here with Tim Tszyu back in action April 4th versus Norger, man. So what you think about this right here with Tim Tszyu getting back in action? And one thing I want to add a little context to with Tim Tszyu, he did mention that this is a fight that for him to get ready for Earl, which is I'm assuming that they're still having this out there for us Tim Tszyu and Earl later on in the summer or something like that, or in the fall this year, from what I'm hearing still. So what you think about that?
Good work. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm ready for. And shout out to Crucial, shout out to Mello. Now, Errol Spence returning to the sport of boxing is really the only reason this fight has any interest. I never heard of Nurja. I'm gonna look him up and do some research on him. I believe he's an undefeated fighter. So I'm gonna definitely we got until April 4th. So yeah. But Tim Tszyu, that's a good comeback fight for Errol Spence. I like that comeback fight because that's a name. You know, Errol always said he doesn't do tune-ups. So this is a former world champion. And if he can get a decisive win, if he can get a stoppage victory or at least get a unanimous decision, look good in a fight, I think it makes sense. It never made sense for Errol Spence Jr. to fight in Australia. Now, if they had a crazy amount of money for him, I mean, then that's his business. But he's a draw in America, in Texas and in Vegas. So Tim Tszyu coming back to Texas and fighting Errol Spence, that's a big fight. And that's actually worthy of I think anytime Errol's going to fight now, he's put himself in a position where he's worthy of a main event slot, especially for his comeback fight, being out of the ring. Everybody going to talk about it. Is it going on 4 years? It's only 3 years now. 4 years is going on. I'm trying to think. When he fight Bud in 2022?
It was in 2023, so it's 3 years.
All right, so it's going on 3 years now. So yeah, it's getting up there. It's getting up there. It's absence. So the people gonna be like, it's kind of like Floyd, where that's an extreme scenario. Or Manny, right? We'll say Manny or anybody that comes back after a long layoff. There is going to be a level of interest in seeing that guy. Seeing that fighter, see what they still got, see if they can return to form. So yeah, I'm shout out to Tim Tszyu, man. Tim Tszyu is one of the most active fighters in the sport of boxing. I'm actually a fan of Tim Tszyu because he really takes on a lot of tough challenges, and we don't hear him crying and complaining and whining. He took some L's, he won some fights. You know, he had that tough fight against Terrell Goucher. You remember he got dropped, and you know he was able to survive and get that win there. He done fought Mendoza, Tony Harrison. Um, I mean, he done fought a lot of guys and Fondor twice. So we'll see. Hopefully, he got a lot left in the tank. I think he's still a young guy. I think he's about 31 right now, so he should still have something left, and that'll be a good fight for Errol on the comeback.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And you know, me personally, I'm a fan of Tim Tszyu. I definitely me personally, for as the Earl perspective, I would like Earl to have a tune up before Tim Tszyu first, personally, just me personally, as an Earl fan. I would love him to have a tune up. I've been on record saying this multiple times. But you know, I do like the fight for Earl on the comeback, though. You know what I'm saying? Understanding too, like, but I don't like it if he's going to Australia to fight him, or you know what I'm saying. I would want Earl comeback fight to be here in the States. So I hope that's the plan, that it's going to be in the States.
Absolutely.
That's
Now,
one thing
what's
I do
the
gotta add
now?
context to.
Tony Harrison was calling for the fight with Errol Spence. Is that, you know, the type of fight you were looking for Errol to come back to, or what type of fight you were thinking?
I would love the Tony Harrison's, that fight makes sense to me for sure. But I know one thing about Tony. I think Tony, I know he's been talking about Charlo and Earl recently and stuff, but he's went up to 160. So if he was to fight those guys, my question for him would is he going to be going down to 154 to fight them guys, or are he expecting them guys to fight him at 160? Like that. That'd be my question right there in particular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So
another thing with Tony, I mean, I would think, I mean, maybe that's not gonna get him ready for Tim Tszyu, you know, that type of fight.
yeah,
You
because
see what I'm saying? Because that would just be
Tony a
something to
brawl
get him
with
up.
you. It'll be a banker. He'll definitely hit with you for sure. He'll get it cracking with you for sure.
I think Errol in form. I think he'll stop Tony though. But
Yeah,
that's
I
the
think
thing.
he'll beat Tony. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he'll beat Tony right now.
yeah,
Right now.
yeah. So when you say tune up, it's like, I mean, I guess we'll, you know, but then I'm like, for the boxing public, EJ really want to, you know, I don't know if he's gonna do that. You feel what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah, that
If
ain't his.
Tony was
He's going to live by his moniker. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like he don't do no tune ups, and that was my thing. Something I asked people when people talked about this fight, a few weeks ago with Earl and Tim Tszyu, where I was like, no, is Earl looking at Tim Tszyu as a tune up? Not in particular, like just downplaying Tim Tszyu 100%, but like, is he looking at Tim Tszyu as a tune-up just to get him back ready? But no, I don't believe Tim Tszyu was a tune-up for Earl. Like, I don't believe it.
when
I
I
think
let me say it
that's gonna
like
be a
this.
good ass fight.
I'm with you 1,000%. But when Arrow is referring to tune ups, he's referring to, I believe, like fights that he knows that he not gonna get top dollar. You know,
Right.
he wants guys that'll put him in a position to make the biggest event and the biggest money. Now, and that's just what makes sense because at the end of the day, he's a prize fighter. That's all he's doing it for. You know, is to get that big illustrious payday. So, you know, Tuna would be somebody that, no, that's an easy work, but then people are not gonna really buy into, they're not gonna pay for. Now, you got people coming to your events, you got over, you're doing over 300,000 pay-per-views, you selling out your events, you need a name. You need somebody that, the people can kind of get up for, and that even the bookies might look at and say, okay, this is closer to a 50-50 fight.
Yeah,
So,
and definitely looking at the money for as Errol coming back too. He definitely want a monetary gain on a good monetary gain coming back for sure too as well. Like he ain't coming back just to fight for no Trump change at all. You know what I mean too. So that's another perspective too for us, Earl, on the fight with Tim Zoo as well too. So definitely we can go ahead and go to this next one, which is kind of getting into the fight that's happening coming up on March 28th, which little switch around from on the March 28th card, which I mentioned the other day on the show. With of course, this fight, Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torres. This fight was supposed to go down on the Fundora Thurman card coming up March 28th, and end up Frank Sanchez is dealing with a knee issue, which is going to sideline him for a few weeks. But the target date for them to reschedule is possibly the May 30th date on the undercard for Devin Haney and Rolly Romero, if that fight's finalized. So that's the rescheduling of the fight for Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres, possibly for May 30th. And then this is the actual new undercard for the Fundora Thurman card right here, where they added Eunice Tellez versus Brian Mendoza. Now, Eunice Tellez was supposed to fight on this March 21st card this Saturday on the Carlos Adames and Emma Williams card Saturday, but then PBC had to move around, and they end up adding him a week later on this card, fighting Brian Mendoza, which is definitely, I think it's going to be a good scrap. I think it's going to be, and it's interesting to see Brian Mendoza come back and everything as well. And then of course, they still got Eunice Tellez with Terrell Gachet, and then they got this added this fight. This fight was on the prelims. This was the main event for the prelims, I believe, but then they moved this up into the main event, and they made Elijah Garcia and Kevin Newman the rematch. They made that as the prelims main event. So a little switch around from PBC on this Fundora Thurman undercard due to the Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres fight being rescheduled right here. So what you think about this new edition for March 28th?
Good fight. I think it's definitely a good a fight for Yoenis Tellez now, because I mean, we seen what happened with Abbas Barao, and that wasn't pretty. That was, I mean, Barraz showed that it's kind of like, you gotta, the maturity of a fighter.
Facts.
Now Yoenis Tellez is 11-1. He's only 25 years old. So he did show he was, what level he was at. He's coming off of stopping Kendo Castaneda, so I do like that he's got a comeback fight. I'm just looking at him. I'm just pulling him up right now. Now Brian Mendoza, man, Brian Mendoza. I like Brian Mendoza. He's definitely a good fighter. We'll see if he can counterpunch his way to victory in this matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because we know what type of fight this is going to be. And so, but this undercard is very decent. Hovanesian, Gergen Hovanesian is I gotta check his opponent out, Novato, but Hovanesian is a big heavyweight, um, with punching power, decent boxer. So I definitely want to see if he can get himself a victory. And man, Yo-Yo, bro. Yo-Yo versus Terrell Goucher. Now, this is going to be a tough fight for Terrell Goucher. Shout out to Terrell Goucher. I mean, at the end of the day, it's PBC, man. As we know, well, one thing we know about PBC, brother ain't going to get no easy fight. Sure, you gonna be in a fight whether you fighting somebody I mean, because it's Premier Boxing Champions. This is championship boxing. This ain't for game. This ain't play. So
Absolutely.
Terrell Goucher getting in there, he had Elijah Garcia. Now he was the underdog versus Elijah, and because we know Elijah's style and what we've seen him do on PBC events, and now he's coming back and fighting Yo-Yo. who is
Man,
a big puncher. And now Kyron Davis did some good things. He did some good things, even though Yo he's just ferocious in there with his combinations. And so
monster.
he's a beast. So hey, listen, hey, PBC is lit, man. PBC, good job on this good job with these three fights. Now, people like, what are these three fights? I don't know, people like me, I like watching boxing. I'm gonna watch boxing, and I like the matchups. They're just favorable for boxing fans because I want to see all of the boxers active, right? So as long as they rolling them out, getting them title fights, putting them in position for unifications or whatever the case may be, keep these dudes active. Telez, he just fought. He was the world champion. He beat J Rock. He was a world champion. Mendoza, a fighter that's been around for years. This is a decent undercard. And then on top of that, we got Thurman one time in the main event versus Fondor. So now, do you want to pay $70 for it? Nah, of course not. You know what I mean? But you know, hey, listen, it's definitely we'll see. We'll see. I think it'll play out to be a worthy card based on how the fights play out, Cause
Yeah,
that
I mean,
yo-yo Terrell, because
people
Terrell
got a
Gatay's a
high
smart
standard
boxer.
on PBC. They just got a
Yeah,
high standard for them always. Y'all be there
right.
particular. That's just what it be for real.
Mhm.
And you just see with these matchups, as far as just the style matchups, and just it's all action impact for us. No, all four of these fights for us,
Yeah.
the main card for us, Fundora and Thurman right here. So like I'm definitely rocking with it. I think people when they see March 28th and they see like the prelims and PBC, because the prelims for PBC they be having high action on the prelims as well. So when they see March 28th, like they gonna see like, okay, like these fights is all lit, like what I mean, from top to bottom, what I mean. So that's one thing I definitely appreciate from PBC is that they do put a lot of these matchups from where the prelims be fired onto the main card, So I'm definitely gonna be, lit for Dora Thurman this March 28th, man. I know that conversation gonna be a lot going into next week. We ain't gonna dive into it because I want to get into this conversation right here. So kind of with I talked about this a little bit on the show the other day. Of course, Michaela Mayer, she just ended up signing with MVP the other day. And of course, the conversation with Clarissa, of course, she been one. She said she wants to fight Shadeja and she wants to fight Michaela Mayer possibly, but leaning more towards Michaela Mayer a little bit. From her conversation going back and forth with Michaela Mayer a little bit recently. Um, Now it's just interesting now because Michaela Mayer is now with MVP and Shadays is with MVP. So now, if Clarissa wants both of those fights, she's going to have to, work with MVP to get those two fights. So what you think about that in a retrospect as far as Clarissa, possibly having to, go through MVP to get those two fights?
Man, I love how everything is playing out. I mean, it's playing out beautifully because she's already pretty much set the stage. She beat Franchon Cruz, and now she's coming back. She's in a good position because she has her own agreement. But not only that, Shade for all intents, I mean, Shade's is fighting Lonnie Daniels. Who is Michaela gonna fight next, right? Like them
Right.
fighting Clarissa is their biggest fight, period. And an opportunity for Clarissa fighting Shadeja at Barclays as a main event. Now we talking. Now we pushing the sport forward. So I love that fight. Because Shadeja's from Paterson, New Jersey, so it all is making sense. Everything is looking good. Now, I like how Clarissa would be going from 175 to 168. You feel me? And then going 168 to 160. So fight Shadeja for her titles at 168, and then hopefully Michaela can find an interim fight. Hopefully Michaela can find an interim fight and maybe fight for a title at 160, right? So I mean, what in between fight? I meant to say in between fight, So that way, and then they meet up. They meet up at 160. So it's looking. Everything is. And hopefully, and it says, and it's a boxing and motherhood, right? So she does want to be a mother. I did see that. So that'd be a great way to segue into that for us fans is boxing, because Clarissa's done a lot in the sport. As we can see, is that she's kind of moved through the divisions now. Outside of maybe a Savannah rematch, who we really not asking for because she lost to Shadeja, but that would be all she would need to do. I mean, all she would, and then she can go into retirement, come back if she wanted to, right? Go into motherhood, have a child, have a couple if she wanted to. It all makes sense if after she fights Shadeja and Michaela. Now, if there's anybody else that you could think of, Cam, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Anybody that can that she
Yeah,
needs
I
to
mean,
fight. But she
I
she
can't
did
think
say
of
go
nobody outside of Shadeja for real. Honestly,
Shadeja for
it's
real, not even
like,
Michaela. I got you.
yeah, you're not even really Michaela because it's like, I mean, Michaela's fighting at 150, 154, 147, 154, and then Clarissa's talking about she wants to fight her at 163, go down from 175 to 163, which is do I believe Clarissa can shed that weight down and and get in that weight and fight her? Yes. Do I believe she's willing to do so? I'm not so sure for real. That's just my opinion for real. That's just me far as Michaela Mayer in particular. And then of course Shadeja, she's fighting at 168, and that's the main fight that everybody wants to see now from her, including myself. So it's like it only makes sense to fight Shadeja, whether it's at 168 or 175. Like if you're gonna go down, go fight the girl that's everybody's calling you, for you to fight, waiting to fight Shadeja. But I just find it really intriguing with Jake Paul how he really like boxing in all of the champions and in the women's sport, and getting Michaela Mayer, which is it was just a strategic move. You know what I'm saying, for Jake Paul in particular, and it's like Clarissa, if the fans, you're gonna give the fans what they want. All right, let's see, Shadeja Green. You know what I'm saying? And Shadeja Green's fighting April 17th, on that Alycia Baumgardner card. So, she's fighting Lonnie Daniels, a former Clarissa opponent. So, MVP working their hand right there, in general, as far as Shadeja Green right there, where they got Shadeja Green, fighting Lonnie Daniels, a former Clarissa opponent, where, should they hoping that Shadeja wipe her off the map, and then they looking right at Clarissa like, yo, what's up? We just did one of your former ops bad. Now let's get it cracking. So it makes perfect sense on how Jay Paul and MVP is moving Shadeja, going into April for us this fight in particular.
Bad. I'm gonna say this, and shout out to MVP, everything they doing,
Salute to
and
B
everybody.
King and my boy Sheldon Moore. What Sheldon Moore say? He said, "Stop the cash." He said, "Clarissa is the best female boxer in history. However, she needs to stand on what she says, or she is a duck. Fight Green."
Hey, now I'm with you 1,000%, Mr. Moore, and I really don't particularly like the fact that Shadeja's fighting Lonnie Daniels, because for one, I mean her performance against Clarissa was horrible. I mean Lonnie, I mean of course she survived and things like that, but I mean she really didn't come to win the fight. Now against Shadeja, I mean, is she gonna fight that same game, same style? We'll see. But I mean, I really like Clarissa said. Why even take an interim fight? Why even take an in between fight? Just go ahead and stay ready. Now, so that would have put the pressure. Now, of course, if anything happened to Lonnie Daniels, Maybe Shadeja will need to go right into that Clarissa fight as long as Clarissa doesn't sign another fight. So when is that fight, Cam, the Shadeja fight?
Today's a fight April 17th.
Okay, nice. Oh, okay, we good then. We in a good position. Yeah, so Shadeja, but the only thing is Lonnie Dames could be a banana peel. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Just depending on what the judges is going to give her and how she performs, because she has good movement in the ring. I have to give her credit for that. And I mean, and she is tough because she took some big shots. Um, but I think Shadeja is going to beat her, and then go on to the Clarissa fight. I don't think she's going to be a tall task for Shadeja. I just feel like her style is going to be like Shadeja's like, okay, why did I take this fight? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? She just gonna be moving around a lot and what I'm saying, fighting when she wanted to. Lonnie Daniels, that was a wow. I know everybody that seen that fight thought that was a horrible fight with Clarissa. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, shout out to Shadeja. Oh, the takeover. Let's get it. MVPW.
yeah, man. All the MVP girls, man. Jay Paul, he doing his damn thing with all of these women, man. Definitely just bringing in all of the women, all of the champions. He's boxing everything in women's boxing, and I know that even the conversation. I was thinking about that with Gabby Fundora the other day, where I was like, Gabby may want to. She may want to go ahead and go over, make her mark and go over here to MVP, man. Samson might have to bring her over here, man. I know she with Golden Boy. I don't know what that contract like over there. I'm pretty sure Samson probably got, the business right because, he knows the sport and he knows, the business, you know what I'm saying? And he does right by his fighters for sure. So I'm pretty sure, you know, I think that'll be interesting. See Gabby over here with these MVP girls, man, for real. I think that's the move Gabby need to be looking towards too as well. And she put on an amazing performance the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that who's she gonna mix it up with? She might as well stay where she at. You
I
know,
mean, right now she ain't got no choice to stay where she at now.
yeah.
But eventually, with her moving up in weight, I think it would be good to
If she
make
when
a
she
move
move up
up
in
there.
weight, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when she move up in weight, 1,000%. But that's just what it comes.
She more stupid. Talk about Gabby need to stop fighting six. Come on, man. Stop it, man.
Man,
Show
and that
it.
last lady she fought was tough.
Hey,
But she was 43 years
hey,
old.
hey, if she willing to get in, and they willing to get in there, it is what it is, man. They gotta
Yeah.
get them in
And I ain't
there.
I don't put all my tickets out there, but we definitely called that under 7.5. As soon I was watching the line, as soon as that thing started moving, they moved that thing to under 7.5. I was like, bingo. Let me take that plus money under 7.5. It was like, they do like plus 105. I had to grab that because I think
Man,
she got the 6 round stoppage, if I'm not mistaken. But
we
she did get a
game
six
all
round
night. He
stoppage.
said she need to. He said Gabby need to move up. She wanted the goats, man. Yeah, definitely. Thrill Hill
Right.
was good, my brother, man. Was popping, bro. Was popping. We game all night was good, brother. All right, so we
And
can
let
go
me
ahead and
just say
switch.
this, man. Salute to everybody in here. Thrill
Yeah,
Hill. Listen, we game. Hey, Mr. Moore. Hey, listen, we definitely building BK. Somebody put some color in the chat. Bless the channel, help the channel grow. We definitely building over here, man.
absolutely, absolutely. And make sure y'all hit the like button for sure. Hit the like button, absolutely, man. And hold on, we can go ahead and run a little bit of this Alycia. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, Alycia Baumgartner, she got a new interview with Brian Custer, which is just hot off the presses this morning. So she had some interest. I seen the clip of it last night where I was like, okay, she on some stuff. She popping her shit. She popping her shit. So definitely, let me go and pull it up real quick. Yeah. Brian Custer been active with the content too. He just had Rolly on last week too. That boy been active. All right, let me go ahead and share the Scrizzy real quick. Looking beautiful. Oh my God.
You for having me.
Yes.
Beautiful day today.
Yes. Hey, look, and it's going to be a beautiful day from my understanding on April 17th because I hear you're the main event at the Garden, putting the WBO, IBF, WBA belts on the line.
Hey, we game all night, definitely, bro. We pushing the 1K, man. We pushing the 1K. We about to be at 800 subs. We pushing the 1K ASAP, man. In the next month, that's what we pushing for. The next month, we trying to get to 1,000 subs for sure. You feel me? So we definitely pushing that, man. So this week you're gonna see a lot of content, videos, shorts, and everything this week. I got to get back active. I've been lazy on the videos the last couple of weeks, but I've been dropping shows though. I did 4 shows last week, so you know what I mean. So definitely we gonna be back active crazy this week. You know what I mean? For sure. So definitely stay tapped into the channel, man. Make sure for sure. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe to the channel for sure. If you listening in, you feel me? So definitely. Let's
Against
go ahead and do this.
Bo Mi Rin Shin, 10 3-minute rounds. MVP, of course, it now has this women's fighting league. It's a big deal with ESPN. They're coming out the gates with you April 17th, the main event in the Garden. Tell us, what should we expect?
What you're going to expect is no other but the best. You know, they chose the right one to have this main event in New York City. To be back in a city like New York, the fans love it. Boxing is just the mecca in New York. So the fact that I'm able to have my main event in New York,
Is at the theater, Shell Moore.
I'm bringing everything I got. This is where the show is really highlighted in a way that you have to be there to witness it. And you can watch it live on ESPN.
Yes, that's the important thing there. You can watch it live on the network. Talk to me about your opponent in Bo Mi Rin, because I know that she fought Caroline Dubois. Tell me about what she should expect when she gets in the ring with Alycia Baumgartner, though.
You know, I want people to understand when they send me opponents, I get to choose who I want to fight. And I know from coming off my last fight, I needed that same momentum. That's what Bo brings. She brings the momentum, she brings the fight. And most importantly, she's Korean. I'm Korean. This is my crossover to my international Koreans, my Blasians, all of that. And so I really wanted to highlight that in my culture for this upcoming fight. And what people can expect is a fight, but most importantly, a skillful fight. For myself, one
Phoenix the Assassin was good. My brother was good, bro.
thing that Derek teaches is defense. And so I'm very keen on having great defense, just very sharp, very poised. You know, there's a sweet science, and I want people to see the levels of what I look like fighting those championship rounds.
What does it mean to not only, be the headliner for this, but this package overall? Because MVP is now going, and they have been, but now they're going all in when it comes to women's boxing. To have MVPW, um, and do this thing and have it signed to ESPN. What? I guess talk to me about what's the importance of this for the sport.
The importance is understanding where we are today in women's sports, not just boxing. And we are able to include boxing into that. But women's sports in general, I think that people, fans are wanting to see more of women's sports, women even in combat. And we have the perfect setup with MVPW. And when we think about moving the sport, we have to have game changers to do that. And you have Alycia Baumgartner, who is a game changer in the sport of women's boxing and boxing as a whole, to really put that at the front runner to say, hey, we've been here. Just give us the opportunity and we will showcase what we've always done. And that's what we're doing April 17th.
So I was reading an article on ESPN.com. Now, listen, you're already on the pound for pound list when it comes to women boxers. But the article was entitled, Can Bumgardner Become a Star? Do you believe Alycia Bumgardner can not only now be the face of MVPW, because generally people say, oh, Amanda Serrano, and then you got Katie Taylor basically retiring here. She said this is the last fight, and then she's gone. And maybe supplant Clarissa Shields, Serrano, even as the face of.
Signing up to deliver with DoorDash is fast. So you're ready to earn more cash fast.
That was fast.
Told you.
Of women's boxing.
Yeah, like I've been saying, I am the face and the face of boxing. And, I did see the article and, people are wanting the story, the full story on who really is Alycia Bumgarner. Can she uphold this standard? And when I do talk about being the standard and being the face, I have full confidence in how I speak and why I say the things that I say. And so yes, April 17th, you will see the difference of the champion fighter that I am when it comes to Alycia Bumgardner and the sport. We're pushing women's sports forward, and that you got the face for it.
And when you say, I do believe I am the face of women's boxing, tell us what separates Alycia Bumgardner from the others when we talk about in the ring.
What separates me from the others is my dedication, my discipline. I've been in this sport for 24 years. 24 years. I've started and as an athlete at 5 years old. It's already written. It's in me. It's not on me. I understand what my assignment is. This is something that I have been blessed with, and it's my assignment to carry that out. I know the things that I've been through. I know the lows and the highs. I understand the feeling of being the underdog. I still feel like the underdog. That's why I know that I'm different than others, because you don't see what I see. You don't have the hunger that I have. I have the same hunger as I did as an 8-year-old girl walking into the gym, knowing one day I'm going to be great at something. And that was becoming the undisputed world champion. But not only being a champion, it's being a champion outside the ring. So it's a full circle moment. It's a story that is compelling for people to really understand who I am as a fighter, but also who I am as a woman. And that's why you can separate me from the rest.
And you talked about your story. Give me your story. Every fighter, it seems, has something. Carissa would tell you about the poverty of Flint and what she had to go through. There was also abuse, things of that nature. Katie Taylor talks about it being from Ireland.
Hey, I seen that show more talk about she ain't big enough for the main role. Hey, is Carissa big enough for the garden? Don't do that, show boy. Don't do that. Don't do that, brother. Don't do that. You know how I get up here. Don't do that. Now, I think it's reasonable for Alycia to fight at the theater, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think it's, reasonable. They packed that bitch out and, they look good. You know what I'm saying? Put on an amazing performance, win in great fashion. It's a good look all the way around the board. You know what I mean? And it's on ESPN. You know what I mean? So definitely, man, you got to show love to MVP because they got ESPN, Netflix, and they had Sky Sports as well too. Caroline DeBar, her fight is going to be on Sky Sports TV. So, MVP is making some real live big moves for real. Like, they really grinding. They really putting on for real, for sure.
They didn't even want females to fight there. She basically fought persecution for even getting into the ring. Amanda talks about poverty from Puerto Rico. What about
salute to my boy Marquis? What's good, brother? What's good, bro?
Alycia Bumgardner? What is it maybe about your story that many people don't know that they're going to be like, whoa, I didn't know she had to go through that to become a fighter?
Yeah, there's so many layers to my story, but I think for those who don't know, I come from a small country town in Ohio. Most people don't make it out. Most people stay in the same routine. And
Fremont.
I knew that I wanted to be great at something. I remember telling myself at a young age, I want to be great. I don't know what that is yet, but I want to be great. And I had such a I I had a family that believed in me. And most people don't know, but I'm a project baby. I grew up on welfare. I grew up, you know, on on grit, on hustle. I had to make it work. And there was nothing given to me. I know people paint this story like, oh, she got it all. I don't. I had to work very, very hard. I had to take the longest route to become world champion. But I'm very blessed to be able to take the longest route because I learned lessons. I gained wisdom. I gained experience. And a lot of people don't know in life, experience is what sets you apart from others. And not only that, I had a goal. I would drive 2 hours to the gym every day because I said, one day this is going to pay off. So I just say dedicated. And that was the work ethic that my dad instilled in me. And since he is passed now, that's what carries in my heart is that you have to work for the things that you want. Because if they're handed to you, you don't appreciate it. But if you work for it, you can hold on to it knowing that you worked very hard and that it's rewarding. And yeah, man, I just didn't have no give up. I didn't care if I was from a small town, I was gonna make it out and make some things happen. And to my people who don't believe that you can get out, you can.
Yeah, yeah,
Can.
that's good stuff. What did you? I wonder what was that conversation like with mom when I'm sure dad was pushing you to fight and he was training you and doing all that stuff. Was mom like, what are you doing?
I'm gonna move it up.
I know business.
Let me move it up a little bit so we can try to see getting some of the
For
spicy,
him, I bundle my home and
spicy.
auto and pick up the real victory, savings.
One. And I don't just sign contracts. I don't just fight anybody. There's a reason and there's a way of doing things when it comes to making money, making the most money, and also making the great fights. I don't duck no smoke from nobody. I think people have to understand that. But there is also a way of doing things. My next fight, this fight in particular, April 17th, I gave another champion an option to fight me. She turned that down. Okay, who's next?
Mm,
All right, well, fight this girl. I want to give the best fights to the fans. And that's just that. When I do decide to move to 135, then that fight for Dubois is potentially there. But she's way down the line. Who I do want is Amanda Serrano. Who I do want is Katie Taylor. I've been calling these girls out. I've been saying I want these fights because these are big fights. These are main event fights. Dubois, she gotta keep doing what she.
Now let me ask you this, B3. Salute the Dang Father in the building, brother. Was good, bro. Was good. Now, Katie Taylor, of course, recent time with her, she's about to have like a homecoming fight and go out, with her last hurrah, pretty much out there in Ireland. And then, Amanda Serrano, I don't do you see her, giving Alycia that fight at this point right here? William Old School was good, bro. You there, B3?
Yeah, I'm here. My bad, Can go
All
ahead.
right,
Ask me that
you
again.
good? Yeah, do you see Amanda Serrano giving Alycia that fight?
Uh, if it
At
makes
this
sense
point in
business
her
wise
career?
for her to go up to one, has she ever been champion at 130? Because I know she's like an 8 division champion, right, Amanda? If she's already been champion in 130, mm, the only thing with Amanda, bro, is that she's not talking about retirement. You know,
Right. She's
so
not
I
at
do feel
all.
like she's gonna fight. And if they put, like you said, if the business makes sense, now Amanda Alycia is a main event MSG. That's a fact. The big room. Now, so I feel like after this fight, really that should be Amanda's next fight. Really,
Mm,
because why get Alycia? They're not gonna make Alycia versus Caroline Dubois for what? You know what I mean? That's not the big money fight right now. And I like Caroline, but I feel like it'll be bigger after Alycia versus Amanda. They should do that at MSG next because it's Bo Me Ray. These in between fights. I mean, they're good. Shout out to ESPN. I see they're doing a rollout. I feel like that's the only reason we're not getting that fight. Because they're gonna build into it. So the fact that Alycia is even talking about the Amanda fight is good news. I haven't heard it before today, to be honest with you. So
Yeah,
before today, I didn't even hear that
like
was an
that
option.
perspective is crazy because I didn't really think I wasn't all the attention's been on Alycia and Caroline, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in recent time. And so like I wasn't even thinking about Alycia and Amanda because I believe Amanda was just doing her thing, just about to end her career. But one thing that like you just mentioned, Amanda hasn't said anything about laying down the gloves 100%. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting in that perspective that Alycia just mentioned that she still has aspirations of fighting Amanda Serrano still, which is that's something that MVP probably could be cooking up for sure. That's something that's definitely interesting for sure.
1000%. Yeah, this is great for MVPW. But go ahead and cook him.
Definitely.
Doing go put some skin in the game, like I've been saying. Focus on what's important. The main thing is Amanda or Katie, and I've been very vocal about that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about obviously the Amanda Serrano thing because it's like, okay, both of you are on the MVP banner. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like who is the face of the MVP banner when it comes to women's boxing? Is it Alycia? Is it Amanda?
Salute to Vacay Bay. So make sure y'all subscribe to Vacay Bay for sure. And subscribe to William Old School and my brother D1, Angry White Man Boxing Podcast, man. My brothers over there. I'm saying? And my sister Vacay Bay, man. Subscribe to both of my family for sure. You already know.
I just think that that's a fight that should happen. Do you think that's a fight that happens this year, or is it next year? We got to wait for that.
I would say what happened this year. Listen, I've already been very vocal.
Let's go there, y'all. Oh, man, another one.
Too quiet. Turn your sound from 100% to 600%.
Been able to let even talking to Amanda, this is the thing about women being a girl's girl and being able to talk to your counterpart. Even though we may fight, it's a respect thing at the end of the day. And I let her know, hey, I'd love to fight. I think you and I would be a main event fight in New York City, another sold out crowd. We are two great, skillful fighters, and she agrees. So everything comes down to negotiations. You know that in boxing. That's why some fights don't get made because people can't negotiate or it just never happens. I will make sure that fight will happen. I've been very vocal. That's how I separate myself again to have these big fights and again continue showing why women's boxing is here.
You said there was a champion who didn't want that smoke. Who was it? Who was it? There's like, nah, I'm good, Alycia.
Yeah, I offered the fight to Tiara Brown. I think that was a great opportunity for her.
Yeah, facts, Lee Jack, definitely, man. Like it wasn't a retirement fight for Amanda Serrano her last fight for sure. You know what I mean? So that's why I said it's very crazy that Alycia is talking to Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. I don't think Katie Taylor is going to be the fight, but Amanda Serrano, I believe Amanda Serrano may be on the horizon right now. I'm starting to really see that, in 4K right here, right now.
To be on a big stage in New York. I know she recently just got signed to MVP. So, maybe she wasn't comfortable at the moment, but this is the thing. I'm giving people the opportunity to fight me. So it's not like I'm ducking any smoke or I'm picking a less of opponent. Anyone who goes in there is a fighter. They have the mentality to win. So I don't take that away from anybody.
What were your thoughts when obviously when we talked with Clarissa, she also said, not only sweets, but she wants Michaela Mayer. She said, look, Michaela Mayer been talking about it. And when you talk about me, I got to beat you up. And Michaela Mayer even said, hey, look, I can come up to 160 And if you can come shrink your stuff down to 160, then let's make this fight. Did you like, wait a minute, I've already beaten her. What y'all two fighting for?
Right.
And people are saying it could be the biggest fight in women's boxing. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, just to touch on the one other question, I did already mention fighting Clarissa at 147. That was the highest weight. We've been talked about that. She agreed, whatever. She could say what she want to say. Michaela Mayer would beat Clarissa. Clarissa doesn't have technical skills. She's sloppy when she throws her punches. Mayer knows how to box. Mayer knows how to use the ring and utilize her. I think she beats Clarissa easy. Clarissa looked slow in her last fight. She looked like she didn't want to be in there. And I know how hard Michaela works because I've seen her growth as a fighter from when she took the loss from me and how she progressed throughout the years and becoming another world champion in another weight class. So I don't take anything away from her skill, but I do think she beats Clarissa for sure.
Wow.
Why do you think Clarissa is such a lightning rod?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it
Wow.
just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I say this. I believe that she think Michaela Mayer could beat Clarissa for real for some reason. I think of course, Clarissa and Alycia don't like each other, man. So that's just me personally. I don't believe she believe that. But continue.
I think what it comes down to is that she has so much to prove and she continues to want people's validation on why she is the GOAT and why she did this and why she did that. If she learned to just be okay with being who she is and not having to be so loud about it and so vocal about it, I think people will respect her more, but she doesn't know how to do that. I think she has a lot of growing to do as a woman and she has a lot of growing to do as an athlete. And your past can't dictate why you are the way you are in today's world. In meaning you have to grow, you have to get therapy, you have to learn what triggers what's not. I can't allow my past to hold me back on why I still got an attitude about some stuff. Like I can't do that. But that's awareness. A lot of people do not have awareness and they don't comprehend. And that's why I think she's just a lightning bolt. And listen, credit to her for having having the energy to go back and forth with people. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. You could say that. Yeah.
The only reason I ask is this, and we'll wrap it up with this, is because now recently, obviously she's been talking about how she fights men and that she would beat Rolly Romero, who we had on the last stand just this past weekend. Rolly was just like, yeah, she would beat me.
Right.
She would beat me. And it's rare that you would hear female fighters be like, yo, it'd be like you saying, yo, whether it's boots in this or that, I spar guys, I'll beat such and such. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, hey.
Yeah. I don't have anything to prove, and that's the bottom line. I don't have anything to prove to my male counterparts to say I can beat you. Again, I think that's a ego thing. I think that's something that um needs to be looked at. Credit to Rolly for answering the way he answered. I'm not going around saying I can beat up a man because at the end of the day, a man is who a man is. And I am a woman and I love being a woman and I love being soft about that. But I also love working with my male counterparts to know what they do to help me get prepared for a fight. So I don't need to fight a man to say I'm good.
So you mentioned
Hey, Lee Jackson. Hey, she was definitely talking that shit right there. She was popping that shit right there. No cap. I ain't gonna even lie. She definitely was popping it. You know what I mean? Right there. You know what I mean? But that's why I say I don't even like when people had conversations when they be like, oh, Alycia and Clarissa fighting, because bro, it's a big weight disparity in them fighting. They're never gonna fight each other. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't even be a conversation anymore with anybody, in my opinion, as far as them two women fighting each other. Now, Michaela Mayer in particular.
Well, hold on, Cam.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel you. I see your perspective on it, but what did Clarissa say? Did you see on the inside the ring when they brought her out her cake and what her wish was? Did you see her wish?
No, I didn't see that. What'd she say?
So her birthday is coming up, and she's about to turn. Oh, Clarissa's birthday is coming up, right? So they brought her out a cake, and she wished that she could make 147. She wished
We know
that
that.
but that's what I'm saying. So if that's her wish, I mean that could be our wish too. You know what I mean? But if she's saying Alycia is trying to put herself in position to get that fight. She knows outside of fighting an actress, Amanda Serrano, of course, right? Amanda Serrano is gonna be the biggest fight for her. But outside of that, outside of Amanda, Clarissa would be a huge fight. And especially if she can get her to come down to 47. Very unrealistic, of course, but that's like a boxing kind of fantasy fight, a dream fight for us fans, because those are like the two most polarizing Black American women boxers right now in the sport. So that would be a hell of an event. And especially with all the thoughts about Clarissa cutting the 47, and so it would bring a lot of attention to the fight. So we'll see. I
Yeah,
doubt it happen, but we'll
I
see.
I don't think it's gonna happen. That's me personally, but if they was able to get that weight situated, it definitely would be a situation. And I see Alycia has that mindset where it's like she's looking at like the big name and the big money fights, and that's why like the fight with Caroline Dubois, like that they're building that fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's allowing that fight to build up and allow Caroline, like, yo, you put in some work, two, 3 fights, and you see, I think MVP's building it as well, like from their perspective, where like, yo, we're gonna have these women fight a couple of fights, and then we may match them up after that. You know what I mean? So, it's just an interesting perspective right there between with MVP what they have going on, and like Carissa, like I mentioned earlier. Now I'm interested to see how Carissa moves and how she's gonna work with, MVP for the fights with Shadeja Green and Michaela Mayer. Now that Michaela Mayer is with MVP, which since she expressed that she wants that fight, you know what I mean? And of course, salute to Alycia Baumgartner. I ain't gonna go over the rest of that interview because we got a couple more topics to go through, of course. But salute to Alycia Baumgartner. Latest interview, Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer just dropped this morning. You know what I mean? So I'll probably do a video on that, in particular, myself, to give out to the peoples, you know what I mean, to break down a little bit more, on the side of Alycia for sure, man. So salute to Alycia, man. And she definitely popping her shit right now. So also let's get into the news that dropped the other day right here. Let me find it where it's at. All right, so of course this was Saturday night, man, right here with Boots Ennis right here with Xander Zayas. They're currently negotiating on a fight coming up. So they're in preliminary talks right now. So you got Boots Ennis, Xander Zayas, with Virgil Ortiz, that fight being pretty much out of the loop pretty much now. I actually I wanted to add a little context too with that Virgil shit too, real quick, where I want to play Oscar from the other night real quick. And let me play this clip, Oscar from the other night.
Situation. It has devolved into a legal battle. It has been sent to arbitration, has to happen before September. We've seen Virgil take to social media, Boots Ennis take to social media. Where do we stand from your perspective on the Virgil Ortiz situation?
Well, first of all, yes, the judge ruled with us because we're obviously in the right and we have a legal binding contract. But look, let me tell you, this fight, I was ready to make a month ago. I want to make this fight. Not as a promoter, as a fan, I want the Virgil Ortiz Boots fight. There's a manager that I'll never, ever work with in my life, Rick Meridian. I will never work with him again. He is the one that's keeping the fight from happening. He is the guy who wanted to who lined his pockets with money. So that guy did not help us to make the fight. I want to make the fight. it should happen.
So how does this situation end? Because it is going to go to arbitration, but there's also been some personal stuff out there. You were on social media talking about Virgil's father and the things they've seen him do over the last few months. Doesn't it seem like we've reached kind of a point of no return with Golden Boy and Virgil?
Well, I mean, yes, from what I see on social media, the things that they have said, the disloyalty. I've treated this kid right from the start. When Eric Gomez, my president, discovered him in the amateurs, we've treated them with respect. We've paid him well. We've given them all the opportunities to take him to the world title. Now the Boots fight is going to happen. And it doesn't happen because of this Rick Meridian, the president, the manager. So I will never, ever work with Rick Meridian again. And this fight must happen. I want it to happen. So let's do something about it. I still want to see this fight as a fan.
Do you think there's a chance you can work with Virgil again?
From what he said, there's no way I will work with him again. But look, Virgil's a grown-ass man. He's 30 years old. He can make his own decisions. I've treated him with respect. If he's not going to treat me with respect, then there's nothing I can do.
All right, let's talk about Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, so that was a clip right there from Oscar De La Hoya the other night from the Barbosa and Sims event, where he was talking about the situation with Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Boots Ennis, in particular, more so with Rick Meridian, saying that he's not willing to work with Rick Meridian, which I mentioned him earlier in the show with Rick Meridian, where right now with the situation with him and Virgil and Oscar, Rick, and specifically Boots Ennis, Rick Meridian is the one that overpriced Virgil for the fight with Boots Ennis, where the man Oscar De La Hoya, him in general, he had the number set where they was gonna fight at 3.5 million, 3.5 million, fight at that number, and then that's had they split. And Rick Meridian's trying to overpriced, talking about he wants $7 to $10 million and everything. So that was the issue, and Oscar and don't want to deal with Rick Meridian, but Virgil don't want to work without Rick Meridian, and Virgil don't want to deal with Oscar. So now you got a whole back and forth crazy situation with Virgil, his pops, and Rick Meridian against Oscar De La Hoya and everything. And of course, they was going back and forth with Boots. The other day, Boots came out, and Boots, a man of not many words. He came out the other day and talked about he reposted what he tweeted months ago. Basically saying everything was gonna come to the light soon, and then he came out with a tweet the other day, saying that he did everything in his power to make the fight, and he moving forward. So now you got Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas in preliminary talks now, man. So what you think about that right there?
Man, I just feel like that'll be a hell of a fight. It's I mean, how everything play out the right way. This is the fight we're supposed to get anyway, right? Because Xander being a unified champion, Boots is the interim for the WBA. That's his mandatory. That's who he needs to fight.
That's a fact.
So if this fight does happen, that was the way everything was. That's how it's supposed to go. Now Virgil, he needs to be putting himself in a position to fight Keith Thurman Fondora winner, because he's the interim for the WBC. That's a whole different ball game. Virgil's a whole different situation, right? That way these dudes can fight as champions, unifying the titles, get the rightful payday that we know the fight it deserves, right? And then those dudes will have gotten wins over fighters that are proven champions. Fondora, Xander, those are proven champions at this point. So
absolutely. Yeah,
And of course,
I
and Thurman
say,
could be a banana peel,
Virgil,
but
they got an art just to add a little contest with Virgil. They do got arbitration coming up in 90 days with
okay.
Oscar. So they got an arbitration here. So we'll know more on that situation as far as Oscar and Virgil in 90 days when they had that arbitration hearing. But right now it's just it's real live nasty work, man, for far as that perspective with those guys right now with Oscar and Virgil, because it's like Virgil, with him going now, you sitting out and you spending a lot of money on this whole legal situation with Oscar De La Hoya right now. And as far as Boots concerned, like yes, move forward, let Virgil handle his business with Oscar. You move on. And this the fight I said the other day. Xander Zayas, Josh Kelly, those the two fights that Boots should be pushing for, and which Eddie Hearn he has expressed and said that those are the two fights. And he added Jamel Charlo as well. He added him as the third fight, but Xander is the the main name that he's going after, and then then it's Josh Kelly. So I like the fight right here with Xander. Xander, he's a guy that I believe that he's not scared to fight Boots in this. Now, of course, I had a voice of concern with Top Rank a little bit, like is Top Rank really gonna push the button and let Xander let Xander fight Boots at this time in his career right now? But at the same time, he would have to vacate if he wasn't a fight Boots. But I don't believe Xander's on that type of timing, man. And I think he's looking for a big money fight as well, and he'll definitely get some big money fighting Boots as well. And of course, with Top Rank, them signing on with the Zone, it's definitely there for them to make that fight happen a little bit more easier with them being under the same network for sure, man. So I definitely love this fight for sure from these two guys. And hopefully they
What's your
finally.
thoughts on this fight? Like the matchup? Like, do you feel like who you favoring in this matchup?
I mean, of course, I favor Boots because I just think he's a little bit more savvy and more more experienced and more seasoned in the ring than Xander. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. But Xander, I believe Xander he'll give Boots a good scrap for sure. Xander is very talented. He can box very well. You know what I'm saying, on the inside and the outside. So it's a real interesting fight. I think it'll be a very competitive fight for Boots. I think Xander would be there. I think just Boots, his experience would carry over Xander in this fight in particular.
Yeah, man, hell of a matchup, man. I can't wait
It's
to
a
hear.
great style matchup. I mean, because Xander does a lot of things well. He can fight, like I said, inside, mid-range, and the outside. So he's very talented. It's just about the experience for him. But he'll give Boots, a competitive fight. But I think Boots to be able to get that one, and definitely beat Xander in that one. I think it'll be, but I want to see it though. I want to see it, man. I really truly do. And it's a lot more easier for them now to make that fight even more with them being on the same network, like I mentioned.
Yeah, I think the Zone need to put the money up to make that fight. That's a big
Absolutely.
fight for the East Coast
That's
too.
probably the thing now too. That's probably the move now for sure. That's definitely probably the move for sure now. Definitely. Like I'm loving that one. So definitely, man. Hopefully they get this fight to the
Josh
finish
Kelly,
line.
what happened with Josh Kelly? Is he injured? I mean,
Man, see with Josh Kelly, I reported that last week on the channel where I was talking about Josh Kelly. I was like, Josh Kelly was on some trying to act like he was the A side over Xander Zayas. Like, he was like, Xander Zayas don't have no TV, you don't have no Top Rank, they don't have no network and everything. And then he was saying, he kept mentioning Bakram, talking about how all these guys at 154 they want to fight Bakram and everything. But Xander came out with a tweet and said, "Oh, this is the first time I'm hearing from you," and basically saying, Josh Kelly, like, yes, we have the date, we have the the network, the venue and everything for Puerto Rico, shit, just go ahead, let's lock in, let's get it cracking. And Josh Kelly didn't really say much. He just kept talking about Bakram and everything. So I was just like, yeah, Josh Kelly, man, he moving a little iffy right now, man. And he's not the A side in the fight with Xander Zayas. You know what I mean? And so, that Josh Kelly moving a little bit weird. And even with my perspective with Josh Kelly as far as Boots, like he was reportedly supposed to be signed on to fight Boots after if he was to beat Bagram. But when he beat Bagram, he does an interview after he beats Bakram and says that they got options now, and said that yes, we're signed on, but we have options. We can do what we want. And so that's why I've been having that conversation, putting the pressure on Eddie, like when it concerns the Boost, like Boost, like if Boost ain't fighting Xander, Eddie gotta feed Josh Kelly the Boost. If you talk about making Boost Ennis this the superstar and making his way in the sport and making him that guy, you gotta, and he's literally your best fighter on your stable, pretty much. Like you should be putting Josh Kelly to the table and letting that boy Boost Ennis eat. Like and stop protecting his UK fighters, because we didn't see Eddie Hearn protect Conor Benn at 147 from Boots. You know what I mean? He never even let Conor Benn look Boots' way since Boots been on Matchroom when they was at 147. So like, he needed definitely, Eddie Hearn got to put that pressure and hey, Josh Kelly, hey, you got to fight that man Boots. You gotta make it happen. Like that's just how I personally feel as far as that. But Boots and Xander, I think that's the move, especially with Boots is the interim champion as well. So that's the move.
1000%. I mean, that's the move for Boots. I mean, that's a unification. So
Absolutely.
you'll be able to fight a unified champion. Your second fight in the weight class. Was Xander 23 years of age?
Yep.
Pretty much had to take that opportunity, uh, and go ahead and do your best to capture those world titles.
Absolutely, man, for sure, man. So we can go ahead and get into this last topic that we got. Far as of course, negotiations, I guess, is still ongoing with Mr. Rolly Romero and Devin Haney, of course. But even though they had the rumored date for May 30th, of course, for those guys, and of course, Rolly, he said that he's waiting on Devin to sign, and then of course, Bill the other day he mentioned that that they're playing. Matter of fact, let me find that video too. Matter of fact, with Bill, Bill and them,
Yeah,
they expressly said that they're gonna fight Rolly, and then they're gonna go to Ryan.
Yeah.
So, what you think about that a little bit in retrospective, a little bit while I pull this video up of Bill?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, Cam. I'm excited about it. I mean, I think Devin is taking on. I mean, that's a tough task. You're going through back-to-back fights. You're gonna go ahead and line up two fights. That's standard for Devin though, because we've seen him do it multiple times. Now, he also did it with the Lomachenko and Kambosos doing that 3-fight deal. So knowing that he was gonna have to fight Lomachenko at the end of those fights. So this is nothing new, but this is the big stage because this is the welterweight division. Now you're looking at a PBC Prime pay-per-view event. That's a different element. This would be Devin's first, if they do it on Amazon Prime, which is looking like that's a possibility, unless the zone comes in and sweetens the offer, and they do a joint deal where they do it on the zone and on Amazon Prime. It kind of makes sense. So, but the card have to be crazy. They'll have to do it. They have to do the card have to be sick.
Absolutely.
But I feel like it'll have the intrigue because the main event is going to be fire because Rolly is already doing his rounds. So I know for a fact that the fight is going to happen because Rolly is everywhere right now. But which is good. He's back to promoting boxing, promote himself, promoting his brand. So I look forward to the matchup. And then hopefully we get something put out there soon. But what they'll probably do is because as boxing fans, we kind of want to know, people want to kind of know their plans and make arrangements, at least 3 to 4 months beforehand. So that way they can get the best pricing, right? Or at least, you know what I'm saying? So if you announce only 2 months before the fight, then you got 60 days, So everything gonna be a little bit more expensive. So you gotta hopefully they get something out there to the public like by next week, right?
Yeah.
Or at least by this week.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, that's hopefully they get this going because it's definitely March and they want to be able to promote in between these 2 months because they only had 2 months, from May 30th, from going into March.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play this right here from Mr. Bill right here.
The Mike Tyson Invitational. What a wonderful event, and what a great opportunity for an ultimate grudge match between and the person. I'm very proud of Sean. He put on a hell of a performance, and I'm looking forward to now on May 30th here in Las Vegas, Devin beating up Rolly Romero. But guess what? We can get the rematch with the Garcias too in September after we tighten up Rolly Romero, inshallah. And guess what? We're signed up for BROTHA right now. Brian, you get your ass in there too, and let's make this thing happen.
All right. So that's Mr. Bill right there talking about Rolly and Ryan right there. And in retrospective, yeah, I seen right there, of course, the conversation for us, like the whole test and shit. Like Rolly, Ryan Garcia, he automatically has to fight under VADA through the WBC as him being a champion. And right here, I had some tweets right here from these guys right here from the back and forth that they had last night, man, where you got Ryan Garcia, he comes out and he says the strangest thing is how Sean Haney knew about the test before anyone that will always be a stain to their plans. He says Allah told him or whatever he said. Nah, little bro, talk too much at that time. Your whole family are some bitch-made humans. Your bro Haney can't save you. Remember, I said that. Now I'm here. It's over. And then Devin Haney responds to Ryan Garcia. He says, you said it was Sean Haney, Victor Conte, VADA, your strength coach, Scooter, the vitamin companies. In all reality, it was you. That's why you took your punishment from the commission and it didn't contest. And then Ryan Garcia comes with another tweet and says, when I fight Haney again, he will never touch the ring after that. That's a promise right here. And then Devin Haney responds and says, let's sign up for VADA and sign up for a fight now and put a date on it right there. And then Ryan Garcia, no more talking, Dev. We either fight after you fight Rollies or just keep your mouth mute, bitch. And then Devin Haney says, sign up for drug testing, ho. Then we can fight after I beat Rolly. And the last one right here to these guys. That boy Ryan Garcia responds and said, your mom tell you to say this repeatedly. Yeah, maybe. Anything to disclaim what happened to you 420. The fear I told you about is still there and will forever be there. So you got back and forth with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney right here. You got Devin Haney talking about, telling him to, sign up for VADA and drug testing and everything. And Ryan just basically telling him like, yo, shit, let's fight after you fight Rollies and, or shut the fuck up pretty much. So what you think about this back and forth between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia right here?
Yeah, I definitely like it, man. It's building up the fight. I'm about to change the show topic or the name, the title of the show that we're gonna do on B3 Picks TV. It's gonna be about this texture. It's gonna be about this because this is a good segue. Now, I don't really want any more excuses, right? I don't. I want, and I really want everything on an even playing field. So the back and forth is fire, but Ryan does need to go ahead and prove that he can beat Devin clean. Go ahead and sign up for the fight and agree to it for September. That way, the build is on. If Ryan is going to be out the ring, then Devin needs to fight Rolly. If Ryan is ready to fight, then I would rather Devin fight Ryan next. You see what I'm saying? But since the Rolly site is obviously there and pretty much agreed to, then Ryan needs to get his ass. Now, let me say this, and everybody says this: "Oh, he's in the WBC. He'll get the testing." Now that he's the champion, understandable. But at the end of the day, they still have to have the agreement. They still have to sign a Favada. They still have to agree to the terms before the testing is going to start. It's not like he's in 365 and they can pull it right now. That's not happening. If that was happening, there wouldn't even be no issues. It would just be okay, when we gonna sign, when we gonna fight. So they do have to start the testing. That way, it's no excuses in the rematch, and everything is on an even playing field. And I'm excited for it, man. Listen, Devin, Rolly, Devin, Ryan, great fights for the sport. We need those, man. This is good for boxing. I mean, we in a great position now. We're gonna get some big events. And then of course we got other fights coming up as well. Wilder, Tank, we got a lot going on. So we in a good position.
Yeah, man. Me personally, I think the drug testing ain't the issue far as them fighting. You know what I'm saying? I think Ryan, me personally, I always felt like the situation with him because he was clean all the way up until the fight. And then, he ended up, being contaminated and stuff. And, a lot of people, express and believe that he was contaminated, which I believe so too. But I think Ryan, he comes from trying to be always been a clean fighter up until that situation. Now, as far as him saying somebody set him up and all of that shit, I ain't gonna get all into that conspiracy and all of that shit. I believe the situation was his supplements that he turned in was contaminated, and he didn't report that, to the commission, and which, that's what he got suspended for, in particular. But in particular, as far as the testing, like I said, in general, I don't believe it's an issue far as the testing between these two guys. I just think they just need to come to, a man's where, let's get this fight cracking. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I would love this fight to happen now rather than Rolly. But I mean, I understand the perspective of, Devin. He like, all right, I just fought in, November. So let me go ahead and, get me a fight in. And then, we can meet up in September. And then, Ryan, he goes straight into that fight, basically, going in, making sure his hand is right and everything and healthy and everything going into September. So I definitely hope these guys can make this fight happen for sure. Definitely. Some like me, I would prefer it now because I'm looking at this perspective like Devin thinking this Rolly fight is gonna be sweet or something in a perspective for real. Like, and this is not gonna be no easy fight, no layup fight for Devin Haney. So, like that's the only reason why I prefer them fighting, immediately rather than Devin fighting Rolly right now. That's just my perspective. But it is what it is. Business. The business calls for it. Rolly, he done pushed for it, getting away from his mandatory from Shakram Giasov, which he been doing that the whole entire time. And it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just ready for the rematch, man. I'm just ready for these dudes to lock in the rematch. It's time. They both already had interim fights. Devin looked good against Norman Jr. And Ryan looked good against Mario Barrios. So now Rolly also looked good in the last time we seen him when he beat Ryan. So that's why it does make sense. And then these guys and the winner will get the Ryan rematch, I'm sure. But they probably they wanted to be Devin, of course. Devin wants Ryan to agree to the rematch, so they start the testing at a certain amount of time, so that way he can't be cycling or doing anything that will, you know, not show up in testing, when they start 2 months out. So we just got to see, man. I would love all these guys to be in 365 testing. That way we know for sure that if something went in their body that was not supposed to, or they was looking for an unfair advantage, that we can nip that in the bud over the sport completely. It's just it's not beneficial. I mean, well, it's definitely not beneficial for the fighters or the managers. 'Cause, the managers don't want that, but also they have to pay for it, and that's a lot of expense. So we just got to see, man. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for everything. Hopefully, everything is on the up and up. But I heard Henry Garcia. It's funny how he tried to put Leonard Ellaby out there. He said Leonard Ellaby told him, he said, do anything, do anything you have to do to win. You know what I'm saying? Or, so they putting it out there, that you saying your son not a cheater, but then you on the other hand, you gonna say, do anything you need to do to win. You know what I'm saying? So you're a cheat as well. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to say, oh, Greg Hackhead, you can't tell me you never cheated. You're a liar. You're either a liar or you're a cheater. One or the other. So then you saying the same thing about your son. So, okay, well, we definitely know he a liar. So you say he not a cheater? Okay. I think he both. But that's my opinion.
I ain't never heard him say that personally, but
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
I know one thing I heard Henry recently though. Henry definitely he's believed that the Haney's have not wanted this fight, due to the fact that they know that they believe that they know that that boy Ryan was going into the fight clean. It was just like I gave my perspective. I believe he came from a clean perspective, but the thing is, it don't erase the defense and all of that. What happened in that night on 420 in 2024, like what I'm saying, and that's the reason why it's so many unanswered questions between both of these guys. You know what I'm saying? For us, this fight, and that's why they're forever tied to each other. So that's why I say it makes up for a hell of a rematch, and that's why I say it should be happening now rather than later. You know what I mean? And we don't want to see Devin lose the Rolly if that was to happen, and then boom, it just deters the rematch even longer. You know what I mean? So that's just my personal opinion. But I think for us to testing it, I think Ryan's VADA is through WBC. I think that the testing won't be an issue. I think the Haney's, they already then got extra testing on Brian Norman Jr. in that last fight. You know what I mean? And they don't have no 100% control in what Ryan Garcia is going to do, obviously. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that, Ryan Garcia will be the A side in the fight. You know what I mean? And Ryan Garcia is going to, want to dictate, some of the terms in the situation. You know what I'm saying? And interesting, I'm still interested on who going to put that fight on too. You know what I'm saying? Because we know Turkey right now hasn't really been, investing in outside fights that much. in recent time, and due to current political issues and everything, and more Turkey's focus more so been with Zulfa in recent time. So like that's another interesting factor, and that whole rumor with the September 5th in Allegiant Stadium, that shit was kind of like overblown. But that September month for us the fight, yeah, that's realistic. You know what I'm saying, for these guys. You know what I'm saying, from what they both are talking in. For all we know, they could probably have some in the works where they working shit behind the scenes. I mean, one thing I know with a lot of these fighters, they do a lot of talking. You know what I mean? And sometimes I don't like the public negotiations of fights. I don't like that shit. I think everything should be done behind the scenes, and none of the business should be out in the public. You know what I mean? So that's just my personal opinion as far as that. But we definitely need this rematch. We need the rematch for sure, and because there's a lot of unanswered questions with Ryan with the Austrian, and then Devin, whether he can defend the left hook, if his defense was trash that night, if he just had a bad night. It's so many unanswered questions with both of these guys. You know what I mean? So that's why it just makes it where we need to see this fight.
1000%. I'm definitely going to kick it off on my show talking about it. We're going to start off the show with who's responsible for Ryan testing. We'll just kick it off and go from there. The WBC, I mean, are they gonna check weights? I mean, they have pre-fight weight checks for certain fighters. Then when Ryan come through, we don't know. He did blow weight.
They did it for him and Barrios. They did a 14-7 day.
But they ain't do it for him and Haney. So we'll see. We'll talk about it. Listen. Appreciate you, Cam, pulling up. I'm gonna kick off my show at 12:45. And
you already know.
Yeah, we're gonna lock in, man. Hey, appreciate the platform, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, and great conversation. Great cook this morning. Hey, pull up on me.
Absolutely, yeah, man. So salute to my brother B3. Definitely amazing conversation. And we about to head over to his channel over here at 12:45. So definitely tap in with us over there. We're gonna swap over there. And we lit, man, for sure, man. Definitely great conversation, man. And I'll see you over there shortly. All right. Salute to everybody. Y'all watch this on the playback. Make sure y'all hit the like button and everything for sure. And definitely, man, we gonna be back at it tomorrow. I'm gonna be live tomorrow for sure. I'll be live tomorrow, so I'll let y'all know what time I'm gonna be live tomorrow. And I got videos I'm gonna be dropping today too, so definitely stay tuned to the content, man. Definitely some of these topics I'm gonna go over in depth a little bit with Alycia and everything, and with the microdose and stuff, the whole, because of Brian Norman Jr., he got a whole topic with the microdosing and everything. So definitely we gonna tap in. We gonna work, man. We definitely active, man. It's B3 Picks TV. B3 Picks TV, we game all night. Yeah, so we about to go over there and we gonna chop it up, and a little bit more in depth on this Devin and Ryan shit. I'm gonna heat it up a little bit more, you feel me? And so we're gonna go from there for sure. So salute to everybody, man. I'm gonna see y'all over there, you feel me? And we out of here.
All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's showtime like Kareem Lakers. I make a masterpiece, scene basic. No Meek Millie, but I'm dream chasing. Took the shortcut like Anita Baker. I want the bright lights that you see in Vegas. chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it.